Hello, this is most unusual, but this is not a radio programme, it's not a TV programme, it's not a podcast.
What is it, Simon?
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
It's a thing, we're doing a movie thing, we're doing an entertainment thing. We've been taken off. There's no space for us.
We've been taken off air?
Taken off air.
Permanently or just temporarily?
Just temporarily.
So temporarily. Due to? Sport
and things like that. But because we can't stop, and because we would only be sitting in a cafe doing this anyway, we thought we might as well film it and give you a chance to be part of it. How does that sound to you?
I don't understand any of it at all.
No. Well, this is just a visionary thing.
Okay,
This
great.
isn't a podcast.
Okay.
It's not on the radio.
Yes.
This is going to be.
Are we going to talk about films?
If you insist.
Do that, because that bit I'll understand.
Okay. This is just we're going to be very short and very concise.
Which is something we've never been before.
That's true. We
Novelty.
might just drop off the air. Can we call this the air?
I have no idea. There's just a man there with a camera.
Okay, we should say hello to man with the camera. That's Nitin.
Hello, Nitin. How you doing?
There. And behind over here, there's Robin, but he is not allowed to become in vision at all because he's not. He's just. It's unofficial. He's here on his day off, as is Nitin. As indeed are we.
Oh, yes, exactly. Yeah.
Still Alice at number 10.
Which I like very much, as we know.
Okay, that's very good. Wild Tales is new at number 9.
Talking about last week, I mean, the interesting thing about Wild Tales is that it's all a series of portmanteau stories about revenge, and it is very scabrous and very funny and very dark. As we said before, there is one unfortunate coincidence in the first story, which I think has been flagged up very well. But it's a film that's well worth seeing. It was. When it first opened, great reviews, and deservedly so, because I think it's terrific and edgy and funny.
I've just noticed my microphone has got a big fluffer on it, and yours is really tiny. So you've got a really, really small one. Look at that.
Even when we do these things, he has a bigger microphone than me.
I don't even like it. It looks like I've got a hairy nipple. Joseph Coward about Wild Tales. The Blackley comic stories are dark and depraved, but with enough blood and guts humour to keep the audience in suspense and laughing at the sheer grotesqueness of the characters and the uncanny events that unfold. The film invokes Irving Welsh's The Acid House, with its almost slapstick ultra-violence and hapless victims of fate. Is that right?
Yeah, I would also say that it invokes Steven Spielberg's Duel. I had a conversation with somebody recently in which I said there's a very Duel-like bit, and they said, what Duel? I mean, you're kidding, right? Duel, you've seen Duel.
Yeah.
Everyone in the world has seen Duel.
Focus is at number 8.
Which is, amazing that it's done so well considering it's so empty.
Seventh Son is at number 7.
Absolutely dismal. Amazing to see a film which takes, Julianne Moore and Jeff Bridges and all this extraordinary special effects and manages to make something so totally unwatchable. Somebody wrote in, because I said in my review that Jeff Bridges, you can't understand what he's saying because of this ridiculous moustache. His best line in the movie is "Argle Wargle Fargle Ragan." And somebody wrote in, having seen the film, they said, what he says in that line is, you should have stayed a dragon.
Oh, okay.
It's still not that funny, but apparently that's what Argle Wargle Fagan is, you should have stayed a dragon.
And I don't think there's a dragon in the book, by the way. I think the dragon has been added to make it
It's
a film.
that she turns into it. She's a flying lizard. She turns into a flying lizard.
They were good.
The flying lizards?
Yeah.
Money, that's what I want.
Michael, your loyal listener, he signed it. I think Mark got it wrong. Seventh Son certainly isn't the greatest film in the fantasy genre, and it does tick all the boxes, but I was never bored. And if you managed,
I was bored from the opening credits.
If you managed to ignore Jeff Bridges' drawl, what was he trying to do? The film wasn't that bad.
It was.
It's certainly better than Eragon, Dragonheart, and Season of the Witch, to name just a few.
Disagree entirely. I thought Eragon was better. And Dragonheart was definitely better.
Second best exotic, number 6.
Still,
Very good. Divergent series, The Insurgent.
That's literally all I got.
5.
Okay, so we just had a conversation about this. What was the thing that... Because you just went to see Divergent, Insurgent, Suggestive, Digestive.
Yeah,
and did you
and
see it on the big IMAX screen?
Yeah, no, I just saw it on a sort of screen 7.
Okay.
To be honest, I might have just had it on a big phone, to be perfect. But there's a great
Except
moment
that would be illegal.
where your leading lady...
Yes. Shailene Woodley. Shailene Woodley, who's terrific, and she's also very good in independent films as well.
Yeah, she's very good.
Yeah.
She decides she needs a new look, so she cuts off all her hair, jaggedy. You see the hair falling, big rotten pair of scissors. Yeah. You see the hair falling. Next time it cuts to her, the most immaculate, stunning, highlighted.
And then she bumps into somebody and says, "Oh, did you cut your hair to make it look stupid?" You go, "That is a Vidal Sassoon
It
cut.
must be.
How did she do the layering at the back?
Quite extraordinary.
She only had one mirror for a start.
Anyway, Get Hard's at number 4.
They're just no, in so many ways. It's interesting. Some critics have sort of responded against this, saying all the negative press about Get Hard is nothing like as offensive as some people are saying. It's every bit as offensive. As
extra emphasis as you turn to
extra
face
emphasis.
off.
That's right. I'm not talking to you,
offensive.
which is what I usually. I'm talking to them, saying it's really horrible,
really,
and really not funny. Really,
really
is this in
points at
3D?
camera. Yes.
Is it?
Yes. By the way, on the 3D, when I went to see Divergent Insurgent,
Yeah.
it was in 3D.
Why?
There was really, really no point.
Yeah, I know.
Although you could see the layering.
But that's what it was for.
Depth. Extra depth. SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water, number 3.
Completely bonkers, and as I said before, I really feel sorry for whoever it was writing the Sight and Sound plot synopsis, because the film is I enjoyed it enormously. The stuff when they're out of the water, when it goes into live action, isn't quite as funny as the cartoon stuff, but the cartoon stuff is properly bonkers. I think the film's great.
Home's at number 2. And Cinderella's at number 1.
Oh, fine. So we're just sort of flying over.
I don't know if you want.
Okay, fine. So let's so Cinderella. I liked very much. Kenneth Branagh came on the program, talked about it. Home,
Lovely Ken.
And it's a huge box office success around the world, and now straight in at number 1 here. I thought it was nicely old-fashioned. I like the fact that he didn't. It was very sort of unrevisionist, although it is worth saying that she is more of an independent heroine than some of her critics have given her credit for.
Matthew says,
yes,
we set up for the Saturday afternoon showing of Cinderella with our 3 little girls, 4, 3 and 3, yes, they're twins, looking for some light relief after a rough couple of days and nights thanks to the norovirus. So they're definitely entitled to a nice day out. After a slightly slow first half with quite a bit of wriggling and repeated code breaching, questioning along the lines of, when is the fairy godmother going to come? I like the idea of a
fairy godmother. Just a little bit godmother.
I have to say that the moment Helena Bonham Carter made her entrance, our 3 budding princesses were on the edge of their seats, open-mouthed, gazing up at the silver screen.
Fantastic.
The next hour was simply a magical experience for 2 parents who'd had a long week. Cinderella was a joy, an hour and a half of pure enchantment that captivated our girls, and I have to say a slightly tired 41-year-old man and his better half.
Oh, I'm really glad. I mean, we both liked it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. No,
and, you know, Ken was our favourite guest, Evs.
If we could have heard Ken chuckling somewhere over the soundtrack, that would be very good. We've only got, how long
3
have we
minutes,
got?
probably.
Silent Robin?
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
So we'll be very quick. So there is new stuff out this week. So there's While We're Young, which is the new film by Noah Baumbach. If you've been paying any attention over the last few years, you'll know that I'm not a huge fan of Noah Baumbach. This is actually, for me, his best and most likeable and most engaging, and also, I think, warmest, funniest and wittiest film. It's a story about 2 couples. Ben Stiller and Naomi Watts are an older couple. Their relationship has become kind of becalmed. They meet a younger couple, Adam Driver and Amanda Seyfried, who seem to be sort of young and free-thinking and seem to sort of revivify the older couple. And during their relationship... Revivify.
We
Put
got
new
time
life
for words
into
like
it.
that.
No, but we had time for it until you picked me up on it. And they end up sort of strangely swapping roles. Ben Stiller starts wearing hats and cycling and going to goofy parties. And it's a comedy about ageing manners. It's also, as with all the Noah Baumbach stuff, kind of painful to watch. There are moments in it that are very, very incisive. There's something very funny about the fact that the young kids are into vinyl and old VHS and typewriters, whereas the older people are completely obsessed with Netflix and Google and can't get off their iPhone. So I think it's Baumbach's most accessible, and I have to say best film by quite some distance. Also out this week, Fast and Furious 7, which I saw on the IMAX screen, which is absolutely huge, but it is more of the same. It's interesting to think that that series began as this basically sort of small exploitation film of the kind that Roger Corman would have made about street racing, and now it's cars jumping out of planes. And,
are they faster and furious?
They are faster and certainly bigger and louder and crashier and splashier and all this, huge, I mean, just absolutely ridiculous stunts. Cut, I have to say, in a way which sometimes makes you think, I actually can't understand what's meant to be happening in this, but certainly it's a...
One minute. One more thing.
So if you want to go to the cinema over Easter, go see Blade Runner, the final cut, which has been reissued in cinemas. I mean, everyone's seen Blade Runner in some version. You will have seen it probably when it came out.
Yes, probably.
But did you...
Many years ago. Even me.
But did you see it in the original version with the voiceover?
No idea.
No idea. Fine. In that case, you need to go to the cinema and straight away, stop agreeing with me.
Why?
You need to go to the cinema and see Blade Runner. But firstly, because the final cut is the one which Ridley finally signed off fiddling around with it, but also because it's just worth seeing on the big screen. It is a real big screen experience. Done.
Is that it? That's it. I think we did very well. Thank you so much indeed for viewing our thing.